Hey, it's Andrew Greif of the Oregonian, and alongside Natalie, Pierre of AL.com. It is New Year's Eve, officially 1 day away from the Rose Bowl, the college football playoff semifinal between number 2 Oregon, number 3 Florida State. Everybody is ready for this game.
More than ready.
We've been here for 5 days.
Yes.
We've heard every single press conference imaginable, everything that kind of ended this morning with the head coaches talking. We just want to see this game played.
Of course.
And I think one of those things that's interesting is everyone knows Marcus Mariota, Jameis Winston, but it's a game of 22 players at the same time. Is there one player you think, not named Jameis Marcus, who this game could come down to?
I think, I want to say Rashad Green just because I think he's been the best player on Florida State's offense this year, but that also obviously gets Jameis Winston really back in the picture because they have to connect. So I'm actually going to go with Mario Edwards. Just last year in that national championship game against Auburn, against that pace, he was huge setting the edge, and he had the best game maybe of his career. I think that this could be another opportunity for him to shine and really be big for a Florida State defense that hasn't been great all season. I feel like if he has a big game, Florida State's defense could have as good a game as they've had all season. They're as healthy as they've been all season, and he's actually lost a ton of weight, and so he might be, faster. And I'm curious to see him play, especially against that Oregon offensive line and Marcus.
What's he down to?
He is down to, when he came in, he was, over 300 pounds, and so he was the thing was for him that he was size and power and speed for that size. Now I think he's been in the inside of that line, he's been on the outside. I would say he's probably down to I think 280 or something. That was what I heard. But he's lean. One of the guys yesterday at all these press conferences are kind of jumbled together. But one of the guys said he's kind of like the Weight Watchers guy on the team. He's like, do you know how many calories are in that pizza? And so, he's really, it's lean, it's muscle, and so I'm curious to see how he'll play at that weight, because it is a recent thing, and he's kind of progressively over the last month or so dropped weight.
I might go defense too with Oregon safety Eric Dargan. I think he's, if not the leading tackler, number 2. Joe Walker's in there too, the linebacker. But Dargan has a team leading 6 interceptions, especially with Ifo Ekpe-Olumogun. He was supposed to guard Rashad Green. Most often anyway. They plan to play sides at Oregon, but he would get the matchup a lot. I'm interested to see if they drop Dargan into coverage more often than not just kind of play center field. He's also really good at coming up with the line. They're going to need that against guys like Dalvin Cook and Carlos Williams. The secondary is under the spotlight a lot, and for good reason with Ifo gone, and I think he has been so good all season, playing really well in really big games. I want to see if Dargan can kind of continue that. I guess, was there anything this morning out of the last press conference that jumped out to you, anything said by Jimbo Fisher or Mark Helfrich?
Jimbo, who did he compare Rashad Green to? Jared Jeter. I thought that was interesting, because, Rashad has been, I've covered him the last 4 years, and as good as he is a player, he is, he's grown a lot, and you don't see a lot of people that you feel like you can go on record and feel like you're like, oh, well, this is a good guy or a good guy, but the way the guy, he's been, and the character, but then also the work ethic, you just see it. And so I thought that was interesting, just because that's an interesting comparison. Beyond that, obviously Jimbo talked about, Jimbo was asked about how long he's been bringing notes to press conferences, and he said he's always done it, because, his ACT score, what did he throw out there, a 34? He wasn't exactly a 34 in the ACT.
Yeah.
So, I think those were the things, but I'm sure he was tired of seeing us as maybe as tired. It's great. We're reporters. We like questions. We're curious, but at this point, I'm not really sure how many more questions we have about this game. I just want to see the guys get in Rose Bowl Stadium and figure out who the better team is.
Yeah. The last 2 times Oregon's played in the Rose Bowl, they've won. Last year, obviously, Florida State.
It was the first time they played in the Rose Bowl.
And they won. So I'm really excited to see if this matchup is everything everybody believes.